Rise and shine, everyone. It is Friday, September 27th, and it's 8 o'clock in the morning. Y'all, it's Friday. Everybody do your dance. Welcome to the Rise and Shine with the Alabama Cares Program and me, Ellen Hurst. Courtney couldn't be with us today. She is preparing for opening night of the play Beehive. So it plays this weekend, tonight, and tomorrow night at 7 p.m. and I think Sunday at 2. So it also is open next weekend, next Friday and Saturday at 7 p.m. and at 2 o'clock on Sunday. You can go online and get your tickets. You can go to the Gadsden Theater there, or you just look it up on Facebook. Just type in Beehive and it'll pop up. It did for me anyway. So we wish Courtney all the best and just break a leg, because that's what they say when you're in theater. We have a great show for you today, but before we get to the show information, I wanted you to know that we reported yesterday that Jacksonville State University's Marching Southerners had an exhibition, I think, in Albertville, Alabama, that has been canceled due to inclement weather. So they will reschedule that. So we just all wanted you to know all about that. And today we have Alfreda Hendricks here. She's going to be here with the East Alabama Planning Commission. She and I work together. She's actually the director of the Medicaid Waiver Program. But before we start talking to her about the Medicaid Waiver Program, just so that you don't get confused about the two, because a lot of people get it confused, we're going to let her talk all about the Medicaid Waiver Program, but the Alabama Cares Program is a little bit different, and let me tell you a little bit about that first. The Medicaid Waiver Program, they have different qualifications and all that, but the Alabama Cares Program, remember that the Alabama Cares Program is for caregivers. Our client is the caregiver. We're there to give the caregiver a break in the home. We're there to make sure that they get some respite that they need. They can only be on the program for 1 calendar year, only 1 year. I wish it could be more, but they can't. So it'll be 1 calendar year. So if you sign up today, you have until next September to use the funding that we give you. And we don't give you cash money. We have services that we can provide for you. We have home help agencies, or what we call DSPs. We have those that you can choose, and they can come into the home like once a week or so, and they can help you in the home and give you a break in the home. That's your time to get out of the house. So they can come like every Wednesday, every Monday and Wednesday. You get a certain amount. You get up to $2,500 worth of services. And if you want it to last for the whole year, we suggest that you only use it like once or twice a week. But you can use it all at one time if you want to. If you want to use it all in like 3 months, you can, but that's all you get, and you can only be on the program for 1 calendar year. Our program is for caregivers that we have different types of caregivers, different ones. One is a caregiver that's taking care of somebody over the age of 60. If you're taking care of somebody over the age of 60, or they could be any age if they have what we call any kind of dementia diagnosis, to include Alzheimer's. Another category is what we call other relative caregivers. Other relative caregivers, you have to be the age of 55, and you either need to be taking care of or raising a grandchild under the age of 18, or you need to be a caregiver of an older child ages 19 to 59 that can't live at home by themselves. They have a severe disability, such as if they got in a wreck and they're quadriplegic, paraplegic, Down syndrome children, that kind of thing. So they just can't live on they can't be able to live on their own. So those are the qualifications for the CARES program. It's like I said, it's a lot different. We can go and, like I said, give respite care through the providers that we have, but we also have a part of our program is also supplemental services. And supplemental services, of course, could be like diapers, Boost, Ensure, Glucerna, diabetic, socks, all different kinds of what we call supplies, zinc oxide, which is the barrier creams, all those kind of things. And you can't just get the supplemental services. I wish we could do that. We just don't have the money to be a store for everybody, so to speak. But you have to be receiving in-home services which is the respite services that I talked about earlier. You have to be receiving those to be able to receive the supplemental services, which is the supplies, like I said. We also provide to anybody, and you don't have to be receiving in-home care, or you do not have to be receiving supplemental services at all to receive our free education. Our free education program is through True Alta. It's an online program where we assign you a portal through your email, and on your own time you can go on there and you can learn all about personal care, how to take care of somebody that's bedbound, how to properly bathe them, how to shave them, how to lift them, all those different kinds of things. But then there's also a track on there for dementia and Alzheimer's. And then there's also, what is great is an online support group through True Alta as well. And this is all free. And if you're interested in any of this, please remember, and we're going to say this a lot today, the 1-800-AGE line, that's 1-800-AGE-LINE. It's very important to know that number, because anywhere you are in the state of Alabama, whether you are in Mobile, in Birmingham, Clay County, Blount County, Talladega County, Calhoun, it doesn't matter where you are. If you call 1-800-AGE line, just please remember that that number will direct you directly to your area agency on aging. There are 13 area agencies on aging in the state of Alabama, so be mindful also everything that we're talking about today and anything that we talk about through the East Alabama Planning Commission's area agency on aging. Any of these programs, like Summer was on a few weeks ago, we had Teresa come and speak a while back. So any of these programs are statewide, and you can call that 1-800-AGE line and it'll direct you directly to your area agency on aging. And also, these programs are nationwide. So if you're in Georgia and you're tuning in from Georgia or anywhere else in the country, just be mindful that there are area agencies on aging in every state in the United States. You would just need to contact your area agency on aging. Now, be mindful that each state's a little bit different. They provide a little bit different things. They have the same programs, like the Family Caregivers Program. The National Family Caregivers Program is what I do. Alabama just calls theirs Alabama Cares, but it is the National Family Caregivers Program, and it is nationwide, but every state does it a little bit different because funding is a little bit different. So that leads me back to what I always say: anytime that there's a census, please make sure to fill out your census, because our money is based on the senior population. So each year, when we have the census, it's very important for our agency and for our aging programs to help the elderly. It's very important for you to fill out those census. So make sure that you do that. But it is a nationwide program, and there is in every state. So we do have that. So just make sure, and like I said, make sure that you call that 1-800-AGE line if you have any questions about the Alabama Cares program, or the programs that we're going to be talking about today, or the programs we've talked about in the past, which we've talked about with Teresa about the SHIP program, which is the comparisons, which we're about to be in open enrollment October 15th. So make sure that you know about that, and then also know about Summer's program, which is the Ombudsman program. And she also talked, excuse me, a little bit about the Gateway program. But today, like I said, we'll be talking with Miss Alfreda Hendricks, today, and she is with the Medicaid Waiver Program. So, with that being said, we will be talking to her about the Elderly and Disabled Waiver Program, Personal Choices, many other waivers. There's such great information. There's a lot of great information out there, and like I said, the Medicaid Waiver Program is different than the Alabama Cares Program, and she's going to talk a little bit about that. And so, but before we get to her, we're going to go to break, and we'll see you right here.
Some say college isn't for single parents or people who work full-time. I'm here to prove them wrong. I'm a first-generation American, the father of Dion, and a non-traditional student at Gadsden State Community College. As a sergeant in the Army National Guard, I've watched soldiers with degrees progress faster in their careers. So today, I'm in school, involved in the Veterans Upward Bound program, and excited to see what's in store for my career. I truly am earning my wings at Gadsden State.
Come out and check out the Alabama Tractor difference. We can take care of all your needs of parts, sales, and service for RTVs, zero turns, and tractors and construction equipment. See us here in Lincoln at 620 Speedway Industrial Drive. Or come visit us here in Asheville at 275 6th Avenue, or give us a call at 205-594-7000.
At Southern States Bank, we pride ourselves on being your bank. We're your neighbors and involved in the community. We're the bank featuring the Southern Rewards checking account, a cashback account with no ATM fees. We are on the cutting edge and always have a smiling face to help you out. So come to Southern States Bank, where we are committed to great service and being a great neighbor. Let us be the bank for you and your business.
Hughes Paint and Body Works Towing and Recovery in Oxford is the area's leading auto body shop, serving Anniston, Oxford, Talladega, and surrounding areas since 1996. They specialize in auto body repair and refinishing, paint correction, paintless dent repair, towing, and so much more. For all of your auto body needs, contact Hughes Paint and Body Works Towing and Recovery at 256-835-1170. Also online at HughesPaintandBody.com.
I'm Alan Parnell with Parnell Insurance Agency. We've been here in Oxford and Alabama, Tallapoosa, Georgia since 1990. With Auto Owners Insurance, we're able to give customers competitive pricing along with excellent coverages. Parnell Insurance can handle all of your personal, commercial, and life insurance needs. We have a very experienced staff, both personal and commercial. All together, we've got about 125 years experience. Come see what our insurance agency can do for you in Oxford, Alabama, and Tallapoosa, Georgia.
Auto Owners Insurance.
At Bentley Prosthetic and Medical Supply, we care about you. We offer custom prosthetics, orthotics, diabetic shoes, and durable medical supplies. We're located here in Alexandria, Alabama, where it's a country feel but professional care. Come see us today.
Good morning. Welcome to Rise and Shine with the Alabama Cares Program. It is 7:42 in the morning, and as promised, I told you that we were going to be talking about the East Alabama Planning Commission's Area Agency on Aging, and I know that's a mouthful. We're going to talk about the Medicaid Waiver Program, and that's probably not the only acronym you'll hear today. So without further ado, good morning, Miss Alfreda. This is Miss Alfreda Hendricks. She is with the Medicaid Waiver Program at East Alabama. We're co-workers.
Yes.
Yeah, so we have wonderful people. How are you this morning?
I am doing well. Thank you so much for inviting us.
Oh, well, we're glad that you're here.
Right.
So I told the audience a little bit about the Alabama Cares Program and how the Alabama Cares Program, we focus more on the caregiver.
Mm-hmm.
So with that said, let's start with what waivers does the East Alabama Planning Commission cover, and can you tell me the difference between them? Like, I know there's elderly and disabled, which is pretty much the most popular one,
Right.
correct?
Yes.
There's TA waiver, Act waiver, but you let me know. You're the guru. You let me know about the waiver program.
Well, thank you so very much. We do provide service for the elderly, as you just mentioned. But we also provide services for the clients that are disabled, who have limitations that keep them from actually having activities during the day.
Right.
So that's going to be our primary goal, is to provide as much assistance as we can. We also have the TA waiver, which is the technology assistance waiver. Mm-hmm. That is for clients who has a trach and who has to have a skilled nurse to come in and provide those services.
How wonderful.
Yes, we have the ACT, and you mentioned that you had talked to Summer. Our ACT program allows individuals in the nursing home to transition back into the community. Yes, and that's through our Gateway program. We have Personal Choices. Personal Choices is our self-directed program where a client can decide or who is going to be their worker. Actually, they bring them on, and the client actually becomes the employer.
Right, because they hire their own person.
They hire their own person, because what we found in years past was that even though we had DSPs or service providers, we did not have them in the areas that were in the ruralist part.
And unfortunately, I know what you're talking about there, because we have that with the Alabama Cares program. Because I mean, guys, we cover 10 counties. Right. So that's a lot of counties, and most of our counties are rural.
Yes,
I mean, we're all the way down in Chambers County. We're in Tallapoosa, Randolph.
Cherokee.
I mean, there's some very rural areas. We have a provider. We don't have Personal Choices, but we have a provider that also allows, through Alabama Lifespan Respite, that they allows that client, like you said, to be the employer. So do you think you have more clients with the elderly and disabled waivers,
and
right?
all of it kind of falls under the one umbrella of MedWaiver, because that's what we call it, MedWaiver. All of them fall under that umbrella. Now, with our Personal Choice unit, we have over 500. Now we have 989 clients active right now.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah, so over half is Personal Choices, because these clients feel comfortable with the people that they hire.
Yes.
It can be a family member, it can be somebody in the community, somebody at their church. But those individuals are already familiar with the family structure and how it's. So it has been a tremendous benefit for these clients.
I think it's wonderful that they get to choose. And like you said, I mean, being in the rural areas, if they didn't have that choice, they wouldn't have anybody.
And we found that to be true for so many years, that even though we had DSPs on staff, even though we contract with all of these providers, sometimes there just wasn't any aides that were in that particular area.
Right.
So our clients would go without services, and the whole point of the program is to provide that assistance to those clients who actually need that help.
Right. And what does the referral process look like for each waiver? And can anyone just refer to the waiver program? I mean, how do y'all do that?
Our referrals come through ADRC.
Which is the Aging and Disability Resource Center.
It does. And once they call and make a referral, a member of if they're expressing interest in getting some type of service in their home, like homemaker, personal care, they need a bath, they need somebody who's going to be there to kind of relieve the caregiver. They call, they make they referral through ADRC. Our staff has to acknowledge every MedWaiver interest within 48 hours, and then that goes into our list of people who are interested. At that point, a case manager, an initial assessment case manager, is assigned. That case manager contacts that person and set up a face-to-face visit, because that's a requirement for us. We have to actually go in the home. They set up that visit. They go through what the client needs or what the person needs, because the person is the one that dictates what services they get. Yes, and how many hours. So
unlike the Alabama Cares program, where the caregiver dictates, this is actually the client, the actual patient.
Yes,
the patient that does this.
That does that, because they know what their needs are more so.
Right. And how do you qualify for a waiver? Let's start with just the elderly and disabled. Yeah. How do you qualify for that?
You have a disability, and then you have full Medicaid.
Full Medicaid.
Because Medicaid pays for all of the services that are provided.
Okay.
Once we've identified or the client tells us, we let them know that this is pending on what your doctor's criteria is, because what we're trying to do, or what we do, is we provide as many services as possible to keep that client out of long-term care.
Right, you're trying to keep them out of the nursing home. Right.
If we weren't there, then there would be a strong possibility that they
and
could go.
that's what we tell our clients.
Right.
This is more, Medicaid waiver is more for those people that are homebound.
Yes.
That don't really necessarily, they're in between kind of thing, but they really don't need to be in a nursing home if there's care there.
Yes.
So that's what you do.
That's what we do.
To qualify for that waiver, I know that some people are hesitant due to qualifications, monetary wise. Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
There is a threshold financially for clients that's over that Medicaid threshold, and it ranges, I think it's over $700, $900 in that window. And if they have full Medicaid, then they qualify as it relates to the financial piece. Now, we also have to get them qualified medically when their doctor says, yes, they have these certain criteria, and they can be eligible to get onto the services.
Now, when they're on the program, do they have to qualify, like if they were going into a nursing home? Like, for instance, do they count if they have a car, if they have a house, if they have all that? Because I know that some people are hesitant about that because of that reason. Yeah.
That brings us to our 300% deeming clients.
Okay. Yeah.
If they are over that financial threshold for Medicaid, what happens is that's a two-part application. We get them certified medically through their doctor, and then we present that application over to the district office. Social Security looks at their financial parts. Okay. And if the Social Security Administration says that their monies are within that guideline, then they become a part of the MedWaiver program.
So there's two I guess qualifiers, right? So there's one qualifier that if you're already on Medicaid and you qualify because you're on Medicaid, then you don't really have to be concerned about that because you already qualified for Medicaid anyways. Right. But then the other way to qualify is, like you said, the 300% threshold, so that if you do have assets that that you look at that, and that doesn't disqualify you from having it, but there's other things too. It's a little bit deeper.
It is. We express to those individuals that it takes a little longer because your application has to go to the district office, has to go to Social Security, so they can look at your financial piece.
Right.
Yes,
and this is these programs are so wonderful because, I mean, what would people do? I mean, how many people would be in the nursing home if they didn't have this? And I think a lot of people don't realize that. And, I'm sure you get that too. We're the best kept secret. I mean, East Alabama, they always say, East Alabama Planning Commission's Area Agencies on Aging programs are just wonderful. And we're like, well, we're out in the public all the time talking about, but there's always that one person that doesn't know about it. And, if you guys, don't know about it and you want to know more about it, make sure you call 1-800-AGE-LINE. Yes. And all the referrals do go through the ADRC, which is what we call the Aging Disability Resource Center. And those, they're wonderful. They know everything, and they're so good because they screen everybody for all programs, because there might be something else there that you don't know about. Right. That and if you don't know, you don't know.
You don't know.
I know Courtney tells me I say that all the time, but it's true. But I mean, and it's okay, because that's why we're here on Fridays with the Alabama Cares program. We're trying to get all these resources out into the communities to let everybody know about these programs in your communities, so that it can better help you. And like I said, I mean, you shouldn't let it scare you that that there's like the two-part, like you said, for the 300%, but because I always tell clients all the time, the worst thing people can say is no, right? No. I mean, that's not bad.
You really do need to find out information. If you have questions, contact someone, because they can explain it. They can make
Right.
it clearer. It's much different than reading something in a
you are not-
pamphlet.
yes.
Yes, so you actually have that
Yes.
conversation, and our case managers and supervisors are wonderful with how they relate to the people that don't exactly
and they
know.
are. And I know people that are on your program, and I
thank
know, that even when I've had questions, and I can go to anybody there in our agency, and
Right.
everybody from Tia to Kelly to everybody,
Right.
Carmela, everybody is so. I mean, you guys, we are very blessed because we work with some wonderful people, and we're there because we have servant hearts. I
Yeah,
mean, I
I
think
think that's the
and
whole reason.
I think that we have a wonderful agency, and I really highly encourage you to call that 1-800 age line number,
Mm-hmm.
so that if you do have any questions, that they can answer it. And I
Right.
know that there's a lot to talk about. I mean, there's
There
going to
is
be a
a
lot to talk about
There is a lot to
today.
talk about.
Yes, ma'am. But like I said, don't be scared about the 300% thing.
No.
And we're going to also talk about if there's a requirement for how long you can be on the program.
No, ma'am.
Is there a requirement for
No,
that?
ma'am, there is not a requirement.
Because I know with the Alabama Cares, you can only be on it for 1 calendar year.
No, ma'am.
So Medicaid Waiver, explain to everyone about that.
Medicaid waiver is, again, you have to be recertified annually. That
Okay.
means you have to, again, we have to get your doctor's input. And with the criteria that you have, you will continue. So there is no time limit as to you have to be on a year, off a year. No,
Right.
ma'am.
So
It's a
you can, as long as
continuance.
you're recertified, someone can stay on it for like 20 years
yes,
if
ma'am.
they
And
keep
we
getting
have clients.
recertified and approved.
Right. We have clients that when I came aboard as a case manager in 12 was actually my client. They were on the program when I first received that case. They're on the program now.
Still 12 years later.
Yes, ma'am.
We have so much to talk about, and I thank you for being here this morning. We got more to talk about after the break, so we're going to go to our sponsors, and we'll be right back on Rise and Shine with WEAC TV 24.
Campers Unlimited, we offer a no-pressure experience, no hidden fees, and great service after the sale, making us one of the fastest-growing RV dealers in the Southeast. With our second location in Oxford, we offer a great selection of over 220 campers from top brands, including Grand Design. Our mission is to help friends and family spend time together in the great outdoors. At Campers Unlimited, you aren't just a customer, you are family. Check out our inventory at campersunlimited.net or come see us at Gaston or Oxford.
Hello, I'm Taylor Sloan with the City of Oxford, with a word about one of our city's most precious resources, water. Clean water enriches our lives in so many ways, but we cannot afford to take it for granted. Remember, every time you pour something unnatural down the drain or in the environment, and every time you litter, our beautiful lakes and creeks suffer. Our city is beautiful. Let's all join together to keep it that way. Stop pollution where it starts, and help protect our waters for life.
What can you buy for $10? A hat? A milkshake? 166 channels plus live sports? That's right, for only $10 you can get 166 channels of classic TV shows and movies, including the latest news update from all around the world and local sports. Just simply go to 24ctn.com and click download, and then for only $10 you can have access to the best TV available.
Looking for unbeatable deals? Look no further than Shop 24, your go-to spot for incredible discounts and savings. From local dining and entertainment to grocery stores and everything you need, we've got deals you won't find anywhere else. But hurry, these hot deals are limited and going fast. Grab your phone and call now. Don't let these savings slip away. Join me, Kip Chappell, with Shop 24 every Monday at 6:30 p.m. Tune in to save big with Shop 24.
Some say college isn't for single parents or people who work full-time. I'm here to prove them wrong. I'm a first-generation American, the father of Dion, and a non-traditional student at Gadsden State Community College. As a sergeant in the Army National Guard, I've watched soldiers with degrees progress faster in their careers. So today, I'm in school, involved in the Veterans Upward Bound program, and excited to see what's in store for my career. I truly am earning my wings at Gadsden State.
May not believe it, but it's true. The 2024 Team 1 Chevys are here. All 23-24 Silverado light duties have 2.9% financing for 72 months. The hottest new 24 Team 1 Chevy Blazer, 1.9% financing and no payments till April. And the #1 selling family vehicle, the Equinox, 24 models. You got it. 1.9% financing and no payments till April. Team 1 Chevrolet, home of the best people, the best service, period.
Good morning. Rise and shine with the Alabama Cares program this morning. It's the top of the hour. It's 8 o'clock, and we're here with Miss Alfreda Hendricks with the East Alabama Planning Commission's Area Agency on Aging Medicaid Waiver Program. I know that's a mouthful.
It is.
It is. EARPDC, Area Agency on Aging. So we've been talking about the Medicaid Waiver Program and what all that that your agency, because how many case managers do you guys have?
Right now, we have a department of 52.
Yeah, so 52, and it's still really
growing.
It's still, I mean, because
Right.
they cover 10 counties. I mean, our agency covers 10, and that's a lot of counties. Because I know that the Alabama Cares program only has, I have 2 workers. I mean, so there's only 3 of us, and it's a lot. So I know that the Medicaid Waiver Program, I'm sure, even though there's 52 case managers,
staff members, we have 25 actual case managers,
so
that go out
that's
in the
spread
field.
thin, so that you got to think 10 counties, and you have 900 and something clients.
We have 992, if I'm quoting it right this morning.
That's a lot.
Each of our case managers' caseload range between 40 to 48.
That's a lot of people to keep up with.
It is.
And paperwork. I know, because we have paperwork.
And reports.
Reports.
And making sure that your clients their needs are being taken care of.
Right. And then especially then you can throw in this, because I know we all went through this during COVID, the C word, right? But when things like the hurricane just, happen, I mean, I feel my prayers and thoughts were with those people in Florida, but and Georgia where it hit, but when you have like things like that, so when we have tornadoes and when we have power outages and when we have floods and when we have COVID come, all of us that work with these elderly folks and the disabled folks, we have to make sure that they're okay.
We do.
So that adds even more
responsibility.
Yeah, more responsibility. And if you've got 48 people that you've got to look after, that's a lot.
That's a lot. We have to have in each client's record, we have an emergency plan.
Okay.
So once we have some type of disaster, we have the communication, we have the family members, we have the police department, the fire department, all of those entities that we are able to connect to.
And that's something that, if you guys weren't in there, who's to say that some of those folks would even have a plan?
Because.
Right, you know what I mean? Because and I know I'm guilty of it too sometimes. It's something you just really don't think about.
That's true.
You know what I mean? It's just
that's true.
So that we'll worry about it when we get there. You know, and I mean, and that's not what you need to do. You need to think about it beforehand. And I know that when you have, because we have clients that have dementia or you have special needs children or that kind of nonverbal, deaf, blind, all these different kinds of things, or bedbound, that are on equipment if the electricity goes out and they need oxygen or all those kind of things. So when something like that happens, do your case managers, do you have to call them, or do they just know to do it, or do they come in and they
do that?
Okay, so they come in and
that's a part of their every day. If we're having unit meetings, that's a part of the conversation. They're having those conversations with their clients. When a case manager, after a period of time, actually becomes somewhat of a family member because they are required to see them monthly.
And like you said, too, you had a client that's still on the program now, that when you were a case manager in 2012, now you're a supervisor or the director of the program, and they're still on the program. So if you had the same case manager and they come see you every month, I mean, they kind of grow on you.
That's a family.
I mean, I can see that.
That's a part of it. And with the case managers, they are having to, and we talked about the personal choice clients, is about 500 of them. So they have a case manager and a counselor. So yes. So the counselor goes to see them as a requirement every 6 months. So there has to be an open line of communication between the family, the case manager, and the counselor, because they're all working toward making sure that that client's needs are addressed.
So what is the difference what's the role difference between the counselor and the case management? And this is only with personal choices.
Yeah, the counselor looks at the budget. Every client that's on personal choices, they have a care plan. And that's where it's determined what services are going to be provided and the number of hours. When the number of hours are transmit into money, so they have a budget that they're within, and that's what the role of the counselor is, to make sure they're in line with the budget. They're communicating with the case managers to make sure every other need is being taken care of. So they have an open line of communication.
And people don't realize, I mean, because I've run across this with the Alabama Cares Program, because we're federally funded and state matched. The Cares Program is. Your program is through Medicaid and through the state and everything. So, we're responsible to know where that money's going. So, I've had clients say, well, I don't understand, if I qualify, why can't you just give me the money? Well, that's not how that works, because we are held responsible. So if we're getting it's not really a grant, but if we're getting that money, that's federal money or state money, then we have to prove where it went. So that having a counselor is an excellent idea, because then they can ensure that the monies are being spent in the correct way.
Counselors are also helping the worker with their timesheets, making sure they're clocking in, because they have to clock in and clock out now. It used to be a time when there was a paper timesheet. That's no more.
That's no more. Because don't they do that on the phone now?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So that required training. That requires education.
So their worker, do they just call in?
They call in, or they have an app that they can
on their phone.
On their own phone. Okay. Yeah, but of course we have clients that don't have that kind of equipment. They don't have the internet in their area.
I was about to ask you that, because I know our Alabama Cares clients, there's more than none, more so than not that do not have internet, or they're so rural that there's nothing out there for them. So what do you do in that situation?
We have those little mini MiFi boxes.
Yes, because we have those.
We have those, and they are useful in areas where there's no internet.
So do the MiFi boxes, does the client get one?
No, the counselor or the
counselor,
or the case manager.
Okay.
But we work, and they're working with Acumen to make sure that the clients understand. And
that's the company that does
does personal choices. So we're definitely trying to make sure that because if a person doesn't understand what's happening, they tend to be a little afraid. You mentioned that earlier.
Yeah, they're afraid, or they get a little hostile about it. Yeah.
So the counselors are working with them to ensure that they understand.
And I think that's with anything in life. I always use the example, like when I teach about Alzheimer's or dementia, I always say the example of like math. I hate math, and and it frustrates me because I don't know. I mean, I know simple math, but when you start getting to calculus, I'm out. You know what I mean? So I think it's with anything in life, whether or not it's your medications, what you're diagnosed with. I mean, I think education is key about everything, because when you're educated about it, it empowers you, and those clients are empowered to take control of their health and of their life, because this is essential for them, like you said, to stay at home versus having to go to the nursing home. What a wonderful program that they can have somebody come in the home.
And with the new insert of self-direction from CMS, that indicates that these individuals are driving their plan.
And self-direction is the personal choices program.
Personal choices.
The audience yes. So that is, and so what services does each waiver offer? I know you said like what we call personal care, which is bathing and that kind of thing. And then homemaker services, I know, is, somebody coming in and they don't deep clean, folks. We don't deep clean. When we say homemaker services, what you do every day, pick up, wash the dishes in the sink, run a vacuum over, strip linens off beds, wash it, put them on, that kind of thing. So
run errands if they have to, prepare a small meal if that's needed.
That's wonderful.
Yes. Whatever we have an array of, on the form, there are about 20 things that an aide can do that falls under homemaker service.
And so what's the difference between companion and respite?
Companion is when you go and you sit with the client and you're just there as a friend.
As a friend.
As a friend. As a mate, somebody to talk to. Somebody to watch television.
It kind of blurs the line of respite too, right?
It does. So respite is that you're relieving someone.
That's true.
You give them, you give them the opportunity to go and take a break.
How about meals? You can provide meals too.
We can
you talk about that?
We can. They are, and if there's desire, if they select to choose to have meals, they can have the lunch meal that's mainly like a TV dinner.
Oh, okay.
And then they can also get breakfast, which is juice, milk, cookies, crackers, that kind of thing for breakfast. So if that's what they want, then they get 7 individual individual meals.
Little trays.
Little trays a week, and it's delivered directly to their home.
And so they just put those in the freezer?
They can put those in their freezer.
And then they can just warm them up in the microwave or what have you. Okay, that's wonderful.
It is.
That's wonderful. So they can have 7 frozen meals for lunch.
And 7 breakfast meals for breakfast.
Well, that's wonderful.
It is.
That's wonderful.
It has been, because in talking to some of our elderly clients, they can get the SNAP benefits.
Right. And that's through food stamps.
Through DHR.
Right.
But it's such a long process. They have to go in, they have to make the application, or they can submit the application, but it's a lot of questions that sometimes our elderly don't necessarily want to tell you.
That's right.
All of their business.
We run into that a lot too, as well. So they can get those meals, and then and I know that I'll have Amanda and Sarah on at another time too to talk about through our nutrition program, through our senior centers, how they can get hot meals, but through the Medicaid Waiver Programs and all those programs that you offer, they can get the frozen meals and the breakfast. And how wonderful is that for people that can't cook, or that, like if you were a caregiver and you were worried about your mom having breakfast, at least you know that she has that meal and lunch, and then when you get off work, you can bring dinner or something.
And that's a main staple of nutrition. We have to keep their body healthy in every way.
Because you're still trying to keep them at home.
We're still trying to keep them at home.
And how much money does that save? If you think about it, because staying at home is a lot of things. It saves money, number one, for Medicaid, Medicare, all that, but it allows them to be at home with their loved ones. They still have some kind of freedom and their dignity. And that's a wonderful thing.
It is a feeling. The majority of the time when you're talking to anyone that has health difficulties, or they have health challenges, the very first thing, if you ask them what do they want, I want to stay at home.
Right. And a lot of times, I know the CARES program, we see people all the time that don't want, we always say if you have somebody that has dementia, they've probably already had it 2 or 3 years before the family even knows symptoms yet, because they know something's going on, but they don't want to say anything because they're scared. Oh my gosh, my kid's going to put me in a nursing home, or that kind of thing. And and this program, Medicaid Waiver, is so wonderful to keep them at home so they don't have to go if they qualify.
And they're comfortable.
And they can still be with their kids and their grandkids, and they still can. Now can they go to church or anything like that, or do they have to stay at home? Because I know it's a homebound program.
We don't consider it homebound, and I know there are clients that can't get outside, but they have the option to.
So they can go to the beauty shop and they can get their nails done if they want to.
They do. And it might be a client that maybe he has cancer.
Right.
So that would be a criteria that would allow that person to get on the program.
Right.
Or there may be some ambulatory problems, and they have to have a walker or a wheelchair and that type of thing.
Right,
So,
and then the people that are, of course, like you said, you also work with people that are like, in the bed, so they're bed bound or that kind of thing. But if they are mobile, they can go to church and they can do all that.
Because that becomes a part of their family as well, their extended family.
Oh yeah.
And that is.
And it causes lets them still be part of the community, which I think is wonderful. So we got so much more to talk about.
We do.
There's a lot to talk about when it comes to these programs. So stay tuned with us right here on WEAC TV 24, Rise and Shine with Alabama Cares. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Come out and check out the Alabama Tractor Difference. We can take care of all your needs of parts, sales, and service for RTVs, zero turns, and tractors and construction equipment. See us here in Lincoln at 620 Speedway Industrial Drive. Or come visit us here in Asheville at 275 6th Avenue, or give us a call at 205-594-7000.
At Southern States Bank, we pride ourselves on being your bank. We're your neighbors and involved in the community. We're the bank featuring the Southern Rewards checking account, a cashback account with no ATM fees. We are on the cutting edge and always have a smiling face to help you out. So come to Southern States Bank, where we are committed to great service and being a great neighbor. Let us be the bank for you and your business.
Hughes Paint and Body Works Towing and Recovery in Oxford is the area's leading auto body shop serving Anniston, Oxford, Talladega, and surrounding areas since 1996. They specialize in auto body repair and refinishing, paint correction, paintless dent repair, towing, and so much more. For all of your auto body needs, contact Hughes Paint and Body Works Towing and Recovery at 256-835-1170. Also online at HughesPaintandBody.com.
I'm Alan Parnell, with Parnell Insurance Agency. We've been here in Oxford and Alabama, Tallapoosa, Georgia since 1990. With Auto Owners Insurance, we're able to give customers competitive pricing along with excellent coverages. Parnell Insurance can handle all of your personal, commercial, and life insurance needs. We have a very experienced staff, both personal and commercial. All together, we've got about 125 years experience. Come see what our insurance agency can do for you in Oxford, Alabama, and Tallapoosa, Georgia.
Auto Owners Insurance.
At Bentley Prosthetic and Medical Supply, we care about you. We offer custom prosthetics, orthotics, diabetic shoes, and durable medical supplies. We're located here in Alexandria, Alabama, where it's a country feel but professional care. Come see us today.
Campers Unlimited, we offer a no-pressure experience, no hidden fees, and great service after the sale, making us one of the fastest-growing RV dealers in the Southeast. With our second location in Oxford, we offer a great selection of over 220 campers from top brands, including Grand Design. Our mission is to help friends and family spend time together in the great outdoors. At Campers Unlimited, you aren't just a customer, you are family. Check out our inventory at campersunlimited.net or come see us at Gaston or Oxford.
Good morning and welcome to Rise and Shine. It's Friday. We have to do a Friday dance. Now all our guests have to do dance. So you have to do Friday dance.
Okay,
yes, it's Friday.
And
it's 8:18 in the morning. We've been talking to Miss Alfreda Hendricks with the East Alabama Planning Commission's Medicare Waiver Program. She's the director there, and we're going to continue our conversation. We've talked about so much. So I know we've talked about all kinds of programs. So one of the things I wanted to talk to you about that we talked about during the break was the new programs. So what kind of new programs? Because you said something about modifications.
ADSS, Medicaid, has approved additional services that can be added under the MedWaiver program. One of them is home modifications, where if a client needs a ramp or maybe needs some stable steps or widening of the doors, we are able to do that. We contract with, and it doesn't have to be a contractor that's with ADSS.
Which is the Alabama Department of Senior Services,
yes,
which is our governing.
Yeah, governing body.
That's our governing.
Yes. So as long as they have a license in our area, and we can get a W-9 for them to get paid through the physical office at East Alabama, they can do the work. What they'll do is give us a quote. They'll go out, look, give us a quote, and then we'll present that to the nurse reviewer, ADSS.
Okay.
Once we get that approval on a lifetime, we can do a home mod with $5,000.
Okay.
That is one of
But they have to be receiving services through the Medicaid Waiver Program. So it's not just one of those things that you can just call East Alabama and say, hey, I want
No.
Right,
it has to be an active client.
An active client. So that's something, and they have to get approved though through ADSS.
Yes.
There's a process and everything.
Yes, it
so
is.
what are some other new programs you were talking about?
There's going to be the PERS, where you can get the alert. Because
that's wonderful.
Yes, there are so many clients that are at home alone.
Right.
Sometimes during the day. So ADSS or the Med program will pay for the installation and the monthly fee as well. So
that's wonderful.
That is another
and I know
one.
that sometimes some of the alerts companies, just for you guys out there that know, if you are on Social Security or disability, lots of these companies will waive that fee anyway for yourself, but then you would have to pay the monthly thing.
fee.
But so if you're on Medicaid Waiver, though, that's another option for you.
Yes.
That's wonderful service.
It is. And then we have medical supplies. If your doctor, or there are things that you have to purchase, the client has to purchase monthly, and the doctor approves, then Medicaid will also pay for that.
So that's like, is that like diabetic supplies, or is that like Insure? Or how about pull-ups, bed pads, that kind of thing?
That kind of thing.
Okay.
So when those are approved, they have a $100 allowance every month.
Oh, every month. So that's $100 that they don't have to pay for. That's wonderful.
And that was one client said, "Oh, that's saving me money. I can spend my money on something else."
Yeah, that's $100 more than they could spend on groceries or, you know, a lot of other things. Yes, and that means a lot to someone who's on a limited income.
It does.
Definitely.
It does. So
that's
it has
wonderful.
Those were the things that were identified a couple of years ago by individuals over the state, that this is what would be an asset for the clients, and they implemented that in 22.
That's wonderful. And maybe by COVID happening and people being at home, maybe they realized a few things too. I mean,
that's true.
I mean, sometimes you have to get the light out of darkness, right? I mean, COVID was a bad thing, but sometimes some good things come out of bad things. So
that's exactly true.
And I know that Medicaid Waiver actually has. We have 2 nurses on staff.
We do have 2 nurses on staff.
It's Tia.
It's Katrina and Patrice.
Oh, it's Patrice. Okay. Get that. Okay. Yes. Okay. So that's wonderful that we have 2 nurses on staff. So what are the nurses' role in the Medicaid Waiver Program in our 10-county region? What is their role?
The supervisor, Katrina, is a supervisor for the ACT clients, because with her having that medical background, she's able to monitor those clients that are just coming out of the nursing home. So that was a huge benefit for us. She's also the case manager for the client that we have that has the trach. And she's the one that actually goes out.
Because that's a skilled, what we call,
skilled
you
nursing.
have skilled and you have unskilled services, and that's a skilled service.
Yes. So one of the things that they do is they monitor prescriptions, the meds that the clients have in there, because we have to get that from the doctor as well annually. And sometimes it changes. They're monitoring if there's any interaction between medications. If so, they're reaching out to not only the doctor but the pharmacist as well.
Oh yes, so that's important for them to know.
Yes, for them to know.
Yes.
They are reviewing our medical piece of the application as it relates to The new applications that are going in, they're reviewing those. Every client, again, has to be recertified, and they're reviewing those medical pieces in those applications as well.
Because they see things that that someone that doesn't have a medical background.
And believe you me.
Yeah, they find things, right?
They find things, yes. So,
wow.
So we have
that's
them
wonderful.
on staff, and they are just a ton of knowledge when you are, let's say for me, I'm adding in an application and I get medications. As a matter of fact, just the other day, medications from the doctor, and I'm not, the medical writing for some of our doctors is not sometimes legible. So I'm trying to figure out what, and I just call somebody to tell me what this is.
They always have a lot of abbreviations and everything too.
Yes,
yeah,
yes. So
I've noticed that as well.
Yes,
kind of can get confusing.
It does.
Right.
And some of the meds.
So the 2 nurses that you have in your program, so they cover those 10 counties as well. So if there's other skilled clients that clients that need skilled services, such as a trach, or what are some other services that would require a skilled?
If they're on oxygen. Now those nurses would come through the DSP. We also have to have a nurse,
which is the providers that you have contracts with that can come into the home.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they will, because they have their responsibility as the nurse for the provider, and those nurses have to go out and monitor as well.
And something that we didn't cover is, I know a lot of people know that we're the Area Agency on Aging, but that can be a little bit misleading because I know in your program, Medicaid Waiver, you have babies. You have children on your program that might need Medicaid Waiver services.
We do. And
so elaborate a little bit on that.
Because they have a disability.
Right, so it's a disability.
It's a disability, yes ma'am. And we have babies, we have and school-age children.
Right.
And we make concessions to be able to go see, do our monthly visit with them in the afternoon, especially during school time.
Right.
So because
they're not home apparently.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. Right.
Yes. So we have to work very closely with the parents or the guardian.
Right.
And just to make sure that they have what they need.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So some of the things that the kids might need, like if they're, give me some examples.
With children, you're going to, they need their baths, they need their room cleaned, they need their clothes washed, that type of thing.
So and kids can have disabilities from being deaf or blind or autism. There's all different kinds of things that the children.
Yeah.
So it's, even though we're the Area Agency on Aging, we help all ages.
All ages.
Not all programs do, but Medicaid Waiver does, which I think is wonderful.
It does.
And any other new things going on, or anything else that the audience might need to know about with the Medicaid Waiver Program, besides call 1-800-AGE-LINE?
I think it was at some time when we said that 10 counties, they really didn't think of all 10 counties, but we are in Chambers, Coosa, Clay, Randolph, Cleveland, Cherokee, Etowah, Calhoun, Talladega, and Tallapoosa. That's all areas.
Yeah, that's all our areas.
All of our areas.
I'm impressed that you can name them all, because sometimes I'll forget one. So that is wonderful.
So
but we're in a lot of counties.
And it's all areas in each county, because some people were like, well, do you cross this line? Are you in this neighborhood? Yes, ma'am. We are.
And sometimes in some of those counties too, like in Etowah and Marshall County on that fine line. Like sometimes in Boaz, you can be living in Etowah County or Marshall County.
A mailing address.
Yes. So just call the 1-800-AGE-LINE and make sure that you get to your. It goes directly to your Area Agency on Aging anyway, and we'll get you to the right one just in case it is on that line and you're not our client. They'll direct you to the right people.
That's why we Google.
That's right. We do. Google is your friend sometimes. That is definitely the truth. But the programs that we have at East Alabama are wonderful, and we appreciate you so much for everything that you do, and
yes,
that your
ma'am.
team does, and that
Yes,
the Medicaid
ma'am.
waiver programs do. I mean, it's a
Right.
wonderful thing for our communities.
We have heart, and as you mentioned before, we have a heart to serve.
Yes,
Yeah,
we
because
do.
you begin
it's
to
a blessing
think-
to you when you help somebody.
It is.
You know,
It is.
That's how I
because
look at it. Yes.
You want somebody to help your family if they're in need.
Right,
So
and
we
that's
have
why we
to
do this every
simplify
Friday morning, is to give all you guys out there all the resources out in our communities to empower you as well, so that, I mean, you may not need it, but
Right.
somebody out there watching might know somebody who does need it.
Yes,
Somebody in
ma'am.
your church, in your community, in your you know, in your neighborhood, somebody might need some of these services. So always make sure that you remember the 1-800 age line. Yes, Lori and Michael will be so proud that we keep saying that. 1-800 age line. Our directors, they'll be great. We'll have little points maybe when we're
Right.
out
Hope
there.
it's so.
But yes, so we just want everyone to know, again, to call 1-800 age line if you have any questions about Medicaid waiver, Alabama Cares, the SHIP program, any other kind of program. To please call them, and they're there to help you and to answer any questions that you have. Any last words?
No, ma'am. Thank you so much for inviting us.
Oh, thank you for being here.
Yes.
And thank you for watching.
Hello everyone, welcome to Let's Talk About It. My name is Marquita Mansfield, and I am sitting here with an international bestseller author. I want to ask for your autograph. I'm out for the show, right? Dolores Peters.